Warning! This video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions, and a Mad Max. And this is The Force of Fandom, Episode 2. I prepared most of this last night, but some new videos came out, some news from Grace Randolph. But this is what we're going to be talking about. Lots of stuff in this episode, all over the place. And this will be my last video for possibly a week because I am going on vacation. So, let's get it started and get those likes up. I don't ask for likes much. Please help me with this video because I want this series to continue. The Force of Fandom, Episode 2. But Kathleen Kennedy fired. Official statement from Lucasfilm. Now, it's not an official statement. It's finger quotes leak. But that's what we're going to talk about. And I'm here to tell you, after my years of watching the movie industry, this is as official statement as you will ever get about Kathy being fired. There is more truth than this than the official word will ever be when they finally get ready to officially announce it. You know, you viewers that love everything official, the official word is going to be less genuine than this is. And it's not going to really shine the light on the whole picture like this statement does. And Grace Randolph was the most critical of the Kennedy regime that was not part of the Common Sense channels in Rebellion. And that is why she got this exclusive. And in my opinion, this 100% was prepared by Disney or Lucasfilm marketing and PR to do damage control and to prepare the fandom to heal for what eventually will come. And she is done, believe it. Big companies use these sources to release leaks that are not official statements, but they are without officially announcing it. It takes the heat off of them. This was magnificently detailed statement prepared by either Lucasfilm or Disney PR department to help get fans back on board, to help possibly get licensing partners back on board. If you watch my last Tico toy video, right now is when the toy companies have to make their decisions about their products a year and a half, 2 years out. And you better believe they're shaky after the mess with the Last Jedi toys and the Solo toys. So, this is to help both the fandom and their licensing partners because they need those licensing partners to defer costs of production, believe it. And they get some percentages on all that merch. You know how you can tell PR and marketing statement from an actual leak? Remember that Solo reaction in Germany when Lucasfilm was hiding the teaser from the general public and his was the only reaction for a month? And how his statement addressed every concern. Yeah, well that's what the Grace Randolph vid was. It basically addressed every concern the fans have and gave Disney some breathing room saying, we tried to fire her, but no one wants to take on a divided fan base. This was expertly designed to take some heat off announcing her replacement now. Kathy was horrible, but one thing that Disney is known for is money and that deadline. They cannot officially announce she is done now because it raises too many questions. Puts a bigger shadow of doubt on Episode 9 if they replaced her right now, if it was official. And it would delay Episode 9 and fans would expect changes. And Disney, no matter how much they're done with Kathy, is not going to delay Episode 9. Believe it. They may have done some changes, but they're not going to delay Episode 9. And if they announce Kathy is done now, of course people are going to expect them to do something about Episode 9. Maybe delay it, make some changes, make it better. Disney's worried. And that's why they did something about her already. And that's why this is out right now. to do damage control, and they can't release it officially through their channels. This is how they do it. This is how marketing works. It shows that she will be replaced. They just have to get the right person. And believe she's done. They're just letting her finish the trilogy. Because they need that episode 9 to release in theaters. They want to get this over with too. So they can have a movie to release. So they can have the new regime started. Kathy is basically getting her participation award on the episode 9 sets. She's going to be heavily on the documentary, Blu-ray. They're going to let her have her storybook ending, that she finished the trilogy, the highest grossing trilogy of all time, and then her career is done or she'll move on. And she's just basically getting a participation award when JJ has to finish her mess. So, I really 100% believe that this was created by Disney or Lucasfilm, PR, marketing, damage control, take some heat off them, give some fans some hope, because it's happened. They just are letting her finish the trilogy. It only makes sense to let her finish the trilogy because they're not going to delay it. It would cause too many questions. There's a huge shadow of doubt on episode 9 already. If they announced it now, they're saying, Kathy, go finish this and do it right. Well, JJ's going to try to do it right. They're going to let her finish it that way publicly. And then they're already making the decisions at Lucasfilm back at home right now. I think they even maybe know who they're going to replace her with, but they can't announce it now. There's just too much at stake. So, and now get on to some more parts, because in this daily, well, it's not daily show, in episode 2 of the Force of Fandom movie talk, I was also going to, now this may be old news to you now, but now I remember where she's been on Jedi Council before, but what a lame and dumb comment. Geek Girl Diva, you are not a customer of either Lucasfilm or Star Wars. You may be a customer of Hasbro or Del Rey or any of licensees, but buying a movie ticket doesn't make you a customer unless it's of the theater you bought the ticket from. You do not own Lucasfilm Limited or the Star Wars franchise. Yes, we do. The fandom has spoken. And you know what? Get wise to it if you want to continue. This is ridiculous, saying customers don't matter. This is such corporate culture speak that's been happening for years now, that they remove themselves so much from the actual customer that they don't believe they have to worry about them. No, you need to think exactly where the money comes from. You need to bridge the gap to your customers, listen to your customers, include your customers, and customers are always right, and they can close their wallets at any time. And this is a big lesson to all, not just movie companies, for all companies out there that ignore their customers, focus on focus groups, and try everything. They throw all their money at the wall to attract new customers and just think their existing ones are going to show up day one no matter what. You got it wrong. Look at Star Wars. You got it wrong. And Geek Girl Diva, you were absolutely wrong. Now, before this Grace Randolph video came out, I was going to include in this episode 5 reasons that Obi-Wan is delayed and not canceled, and why they have to delay it. And also, that was part of her video that she was saying Obi-Wan still is going to be a thing. And I reported that a few days ago, last week. I'll put a link at the end of this video if you want to check that video out. But here's a MovieWeb article. According to a new report, Ewan McGregor is going to reprise his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars 9. Last week was a big one in terms of news surrounding the Obi-Wan movie that Lucasfilm has in development. It was first announced that the studio had put all their upcoming Star Wars anthology films aside for the time being, which included the Obi-Wan film. Lucasfilm later debunked that rumor, but there are still reports that director Stephen Daldry has exited the project, which means it's back to the drawing board. Yeah, they want a tried and true director that's in this genre. Stephen Daldry is a good director. Billy Elliot, The Hours. It's just, this would be his first sci-fi fantasy film, and no more chances with directors. So I believe the right choice was to get a new director, and I'm going to give you my top 5. Number 1, they fired another director, but they are keeping it quiet this time. Stephen Daldry is not exciting. The Hours and Billy Elliot. He hasn't worked in this genre much, but they cannot say another director was fired, and they don't have to because, finger quote, they didn't officially announce the Obi-Wan movie. It's the worst kept secret about Star Wars. It was supposed to be a thing, Star Wars Celebration 2017, but Kathy keeps fumbling the ball. So Obi-Wan was supposed to be a thing already. It's still going to be a thing, and it's going to be a thing, believe it. Number 2, Lucasfilm yearly production budget was cut in half, and Obi-Wan kicked to 2019 production. Believe that too. They need their licensing partners, and they need the money coming in, and they weren't. This is why if you watch my other videos, I say a lot of decisions in Hollywood are made after the opening weekend box office. And that's why boycotts work so well. They're so reactionary. They have to be. Movies and toy companies, they make their products way in advance. They have to get started right away. And that's when they wait to make decisions. And when the Solo's box office bombed, they did not have an influx of funds coming in to fund the Obi-Wan. If it would have hit expectations, they would have got started. But you know what? All their partners are shaky now, and the money's not coming in. Their production budget is cut in half. They're back to a year, Star Wars movie a year. And Obi-Wan was kicked to 2019 and kicking Rian Johnson's trilogy out of here. Number 3, Kathy is fired, and they want to distance themselves from her, which would include another director, Stephen Daldry. Yes, they want Obi-Wan's production as far away from the stank of Kathy as possible, which includes the director she picked, too. So a fresh start for Obi-Wan makes sense. Number 4, rewrites. They need to adjust and make Obi-Wan more compelling, because believe it, they need standalones to do better. So the one thing everyone knows that J.J. Abrams will retcon, and according to a friend Simon Pegg, J.J. was upset with, it would be easy to rewrite Rey not having parents and Obi-Wan being her grandfather. And instantly will make fans want to see the Obi-Wan movie afterwards. I think even if they hadn't planned this before, because they want Solo or Star Wars story movies to be a thing, they need it to be a thing, because if they don't get this right, you know my speculation about 2 simultaneous series of movies is not going to happen. The general public would be so confused. They need standalone saga film. You can't do series 1 of one series 1 of another series, and then the third year, which one do you do? It would be an absolute mess. They need solo Star Wars story movies to be a thing, and I think that's why they're even in the. I think that's why they very well may make Rey Obi-Wan's granddaughter. So you instantly, after Episode 9, say, "Oh, I want to see what Obi-Wan was up to." It makes sense. This is the route they're going. They need to get people in the seats for Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's going to happen. And then number 5, just like Geek Girl Diva said, we are not customers of Lucasfilm or Star Wars anymore. And that is why they are suffering, which includes everyone. Hasbro, Del Rey, Disney, Lucasfilm, toy stores, and movie theaters are still getting our patronage, but to other movies. This is the dumbest argument ever. Disney licenses out their properties, and in the case of Hasbro, they paid $200 million to make Star Wars Tico toys. So it definitely affects them. And believe it, Hasbro is not paying $200 million again to make Star Wars toys, which affects Disney all the way down the line with percentages and future licensing deals. They can't charge top dollar when you treat your property like this. And this is why they had to delay the production. Their budget is cut in half, and it has a lot to do with the customers. You have to remember the customers, and if you don't, we're going to make you. We're not paying for this crap. And finally, all I hear all over the place is ABC News article saying, in articles popping, I don't know if MovieWeb, I don't know, they were popping up anywhere, that Rian Johnson's trilogy is still a thing. And even ABC doesn't save Rian Johnson's trilogy in the statement. You have to read it really careful. Again, this is expertly crafted to not really say it's really Rian Johnson still going ahead. But let's read this very carefully, and I'll read it to you. This is from the ABC article. Instead, Lucasfilm told ABC News that there are still multiple Star Wars films currently in development that have not been officially announced. So it's saying the ones that are not officially announced are still in development. Those movies are moving forward. Separate. This is the important part. Separate from an already announced Star Wars trilogy being overseen by The Last Jedi director Rian Johnson. Now, does that mean Rian Johnson's trilogy is moving forward? No. It means it's damage control about the Star Wars movies that haven't been announced yet are moving forward. Those projects are moving forward separate from an already announced Star Wars trilogy overseen by Last Jedi. It gives no updates on Rian Johnson's trilogy in this. And this is where everyone is running with, that they're still making Rian Johnson's trilogy. That's not what it says at all. Read it close. It also says in another series of movies from Game of Thrones producers David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. To be fair, it doesn't give an update on that either. But it's basically saying the projects that are moving forward are the ones that were not announced. So, you really have to pay attention to these things and read between the lines. So, oh yeah, and by the way, check out my vid from last week where I said Obi-Wan is still a thing, which Grace Randolph is reporting on today. And you don't have to follow me anywhere. Just join in the conversation, talk about a hot topic, and please give the likes and the comments on this one because I'm going on vacation. Wish me the best. I wish you guys the best. And let's get this series started because the force of fandom, the force is fandom, and may the force be with you always and along with the fandom. We forced Kathy out. We forced Rian Johnson's trilogy canceled. See you in the next one, guys.